So, are we in the age of Aquarius? Ask a dozen astrologers and you'll get a dozen different opinions, different answers. It's a very slippery, very complicated subject. I think that we are in the age of Aquarius. I think we entered it a little bit over a century ago. I have strong reasons for believing that, but I'm also quite aware that many astrologers or even astronomers would roll their eyes and think that I was being crazy suggesting that, and that the age of Aquarius is actually far in the future, if it has any meaning at all. The total cycle of the ages runs a little bit under 26,000 years. Basically, the North Pole of the Earth is describing a very slow circle, kind of retrograde, like a child's top running out of energy, running down, and so spinning very slowly backwards, taking that 26,000 years. If we divide that up into the 12 signs, the 12 ages, each one is around 2,100 years long. That's what we're talking about. And everybody who takes the idea of astrological ages seriously would agree with that much. But that's where the fun starts, so to speak. Where do we define these boundaries? These are not the usual signs of the zodiac. This is something more connected to sidereal astrology, to the astronomy, to the constellations, and trying to mix apples and oranges to create this sense of when ages start and when they stop. Now, my current newsletter, which you can read for free, it's up on my website, describes the technical problems behind figuring out when we start and stop these ages. And it also explains my reasoning for thinking that we actually entered the age of Aquarius long about 1903, 1905. I don't want to be rigid about that, but I think it's a pretty good guess. And I think I make a rather strong argument for it, that we went from the Wright Flyer at Kitty Hawk, the first airplane, to the surface of the moon in 66 years. To me, that sounds like the cusp of the age of Aquarius. My arguments are a little bit more complicated, but that's a pretty good summary of it. Now, back in 2018, I did one of my apprenticeship programs, 4 days of teaching in Durham, North Carolina, a program called Generations that dealt with many subjects far, far beyond the age of Aquarius. But Age of Aquarius was definitely part of it. And we have extracted a 2-hour video from that larger program that explains in considerable detail the logic of the ages. We look at the age of Pisces, our current transition into Aquarius, going from an age in which everyone wanted to dissolve into something bigger than themselves, like a nation or a religion or a marriage, classic Pisces, into this age of the individual, which is so much more the Aquarian logic. It's a giant subject, and here's a 2-hour video. A lot of work, a lot of person hours went into producing it. We do charge for this. It's $45 for the video. What we've decided to do here is something a little bit different. A webinar that will be purely questions and answers. I'm not going to do a lecture. I want to respond to questions that you create based on watching the video. So for one price of $45, you get the 2-hour video plus access to the webinar. It's a little different, but it seemed like the right way to do it. I just couldn't see doing a single hour on the age of Aquarius and leaving no space for questions and comments, because as you'll see, it's a very juicy, very controversial topic. We'll probably have some different opinions, and I have mine, but I'm not attached to thinking I'm right. I may have something of it wrong. What does the fish know of the sea? Now, Age of Aquarius has gotten a little bit of attention lately because of the recent Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in that sign, and that's a different thing than the cycle of the ages, having a conjunction of two planets in Aquarius, but it is one of the steps along the way. It's another pulse of Aquarian energy. On top of that, and in fact running in the other direction, Neptune is in Pisces now, a very strong Age of Pisces kind of pull, something pulling us back. And Pluto, of course, has been in Capricorn since 2008. And so we've been looking at the shadow side of, I'll say, conservatism. I don't even mean that politically, but the conservative clinging to the way things have always been is the dark side of Capricorn. Pluto has brought forth the shadow. Now, what's going to happen as we move into 2023 and 24 when Pluto, almighty Pluto, crosses into Aquarius and adds more energy, more logs to the Aquarian fire? These are complicated subjects. We have the people born in the 1960s with the Uranus-Pluto conjunction, Uranus representing that Aquarian energy and some Plutonian hard questions. What about people born in the early 1990s and during the Uranus-Neptune conjunction, and as they brought the Aquarian energies of Uranus into a kind of concert with the Neptunian energies of Pisces, and these young people now coming into their full power. I call them the awakeners. They're carrying the whole new paradigm. So at any rate, I would love it if you were to watch this video and kind of get up to speed. And of course, for free, just out of interest, whether you want to be part of the webinar or not, read the free blog and you can come to understand some of the questions around all of this. But at any rate, I hope this is clear. It's a little unusual, a little bit different, obviously a little bit more expensive. I think it will be worth it. So please think of joining us, and thank you.